Welcome back to Pacers Gaming Podcast presented by Salesforce. I'm Ye Not Gaming and I'm joined by our shooting guard, Chess, and our big man in the middle, Big Rain. We're going to go through plays. We're going to be focusing on transition and defensive rotation. We're going to start with transition. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play it through one time through, and then I'm going to go to the guys to go into detail about the play and what they were thinking. So the first play starts with Rex shooting a jump shot. Big Rain coming down to get the rebound, kicking it off to Chess on the break, and Chess taking it to his left side for a fade in the middle of the court. First things first, Chess, when the ball goes up, at what point are you leaking?
Soon as it lead a hand, man. Soon as it lead a hand, he trying to catch up to me. You know, I'm gone though. Soon as it flip though, I like the right side. Cause most people like to cut off the baseline and not just like fade to the left, cause that's the easiest fade to get off and like it's easier to time. So that's why I like usually going to the right side. Pretty much that's what it is. I knew Rain would grab that board. You know, I had faith. Oh my God, I broke off from him. Yeah, but I had faith that he would get that board. So yeah, that's really what it was.
Well, Blaine, when going up for the rebound, at what point do you decide to throw the ball? Are you seeing the players on the court? You know it's a good throw, or are you waiting to hear the call out from Chess?
95% of the time, I'm usually throwing it to Chess on the break because he has really good routes. So no matter who's back, he normally catches it. Even if we don't get to score, he gets the ball up the court. So the only time I really don't throw it is if it's like in a crucial moment and I need to slow it down. Like, let's say right here, it's a minute left in the fourth quarter. I'm handing it off the green light probably. So
how can you determine a good opportunity to leak out, or like either leak out or when you come back to the ball because like people are back?
In previous 2Ks, it was easier because like you could see the green animation. You could see if it was green before the shot went up. And this 2K, you literally gotta wait till it hit the rim to see if it's green. So now it's just a guessing game. You really just gotta hope they don't gonna miss and leak, and just look and see if we got position for the board. And once I see we got position, that's when I leak for real. Actually, I reached right there, but I was still going regardless.
They know it's a way that you can kind of tell without really knowing for sure that the shot's going to miss. You kind of want to explain that for them?
Yeah. So if the shot is really, really high arcing, it's going to miss 100% out of 100%. If it's like a line drive, it's a good chance it's going to miss. But if like right here, this shot is high arcing, it's a good contest. So he's definitely missing this shot 100%.
And then when you decide to throw it, is there a way to time a route to the outlet man, or do you just throw it and just leave it up to Chess to kind of make the route for himself?
I just throw it because every time I throw it, he like routes back perfectly, or he routes out to the corner, or wherever he needs to be. That's normally where he is. So
to kind of finish up the play here, you decide to fade towards the left hand instead of taking it to the basket. Like, what were you thinking once you caught the ball? Man, like, why that shot?
It's something I practice a lot. It's a shot that I practice a lot, and I usually green it. So I was just playing like how I practice for real.
So now we're going to go to the next play, which is going to be a defensive rotation. So what it is, starts with Rec dribbling up top. He dumps it down to Rhea. So Rhea now has Gil on him, which is a smaller defender. Everybody rotates, Julio rotates, and you fly in from the right hash to get the steal. To start, at what point did you consciously think, Rain, like it's a good time to go drop? Because you're seeing it right here where I have the pause at. Like there's no help. There's no help coming from the right hash. Nobody's there. So at what point do you think it's a good time to drop, especially with 6 seconds on the clock?
right here, I'm thinking I got to hold the corner until at least Rhett gets back in like his positioning on the hash. And also, Rhea wasn't in scoring position yet because he had a good wall up on him. But now I have, the space to go down to the paint, and Julio can play two from there, especially because he's a power forward. And then once he sees me fully commit, he goes to my corner. Chess takes his hash, gets the steal.
Do you think, like, moving forward, I'm come play devil's advocate here, do you think that's the best option to drop at that situation, or just kind of trust your lockdown to get the stop there and you just kind of hold down the corner, especially when Charger, like, our power forward has bad?
I think it really depends on, like, the positioning. Like, if he kept him out of, like, that dead zone area, I wouldn't have to drop. But, like how the game is, you just kind of push people into the paint. And he's so much smaller than him, that's how I knew I had to drop.
And in that moment, are you communicating, like, to Julio to go, or is Julio the one kind of telling everybody to run?
Typically, Julio is the one communicating, like, the rotations and stuff because he's on the back end. But we've kind of made it an emphasis in games lately for me to communicate when I'm like dropping out of the corner to make it easier for people to go for me.
And then with Chess, I know you're the one that up with the steal, and you're kind of stuck in like a rock or a hard place here because Dylan doesn't have much defense on his build. It's hard for him to really like play anybody on the perimeter. So you have to make a decision on where you want to go. What went in your mind in terms of like, I'm going to go run at Rec instead of like baiting at Rec and coming back to Kel, or just like playing the mind game that way?
It's really just a 50-50, honestly. Like, you just got to pick right. Some of the times, that's really what it is. I ain't gonna lie, most centers don't make the pass to the left hash when they're stuck in the paint, about to get three or whatever, or thinking about mashing. They usually just hit the right corner, or they hit the left corner and occasionally hit the right wing. If they make the left wing pass, then they just got it. But they usually don't.
I want to say, too, that it's his job to, like, rotate to that wing anyways. So, like, Dylan in the corner would have to come up, and then Gil would have to get out. He's doing his job, and he obviously did it well. He got the steal. But if the left wing was open, that wouldn't even be on him anyways.
Definitely. I guess my next question would be, like, what would be, like, the defensive cue in most situations on when to rotate? It's more of like explaining to the folks at home who might not play 2K at the highest level. Are you really rotating once you see Blaine goes, or are you like kind of shading to the area of where you like gonna end up rotating? That way you don't have to go into a full sprint.
It's both. Sometimes I see when he goes. Sometimes I go when I think he's supposed to go. And sometimes like I get dotted for it or I give up a bucket or something like that. It happens, but most of the time, I'm usually like putting myself in a position so I don't have to run far to get to his corner when I think he should be dropping.
So, like, at what point do you know when to make that adjustment?
It honestly depends on who we playing and how the game is going. If we're going against a passive center, I'm usually going to move early. If we're going against an aggressive center, I almost like go super. Like, Rhea's very aggressive. I went super early right here. So it's all about who you playing.
Blaine, when you're dropping on certain like players like Rhea, like some of the more aggressive centers, is it more important to kind of get there as early as possible, or you kind of wanted to see if he gets it first and not like that way you prevent getting dotted in the corner?
I feel like that depends on when the point guard is hitting him on the slip. Like if they're hitting him in the paint, then I need to meet him there early. But if they're like hitting him early, I can kind of like late drop and hold it for a second, depending on what build they're on. Most people don't use the play badge anymore. So you can kind of get down there and stop the drive and dunk. But a play badge is a little tougher because it has 92 drive and dunk. So he normally just dunks no matter who's down there if like they have the space to do so. But I think it depends on when he's catching the ball on the slip.
Well, I appreciate both of you guys taking some time and providing some details for the folks watching at home. Thanks again for joining us. This is Pacers Gaming Podcast presented by Salesforce. See you next time.